sick of people at ESPN or SportsCenter who think they have their heads on their shoulders, but they really don't? Well, it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show. We're going to give you the most urgent sports news. Now it's time for the Jimmy the K Sports Show. Sit back, buckle up, and get ready for the #1 sports show on the web. Here we go, my sports friends. How you doing this evening? It's Tuesday, October 13th, 2015. I am your host, Jimmy the K. Each and every Tuesday night, I am your host. I was hoping to do an early show last night and tickle your ears yesterday with Texas Rangers Houston Astros advance to the ALCS show, but that did not happen. So, with that being said, we've got plenty of sports news over the last week. We're going to go over all of it. And I've got some big news that I'm going to save for the end of the show. So get ready for some big news. It's going to take a little bit of time because I'm not going to have some high school / college kid who's married to a princess wallabeast make it for me. It's going to be done professionally. We're gonna have something big coming up for you coming up here shortly, but it's going to take a little bit of time. It'll be done professionally though. I will tell you that much. But like I said, that will happen at the end of the show. All right, so let's go ahead and get to some sports news over the last week. The Cubs and the Pirates played in the wild card game. Did y'all see Sean Rodriguez? He attacked a Gatorade bottle after the benches cleared versus the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs eventually prevailed over that game and won, and are, believe it or not, right now they're one game away from winning the NLDS and advancing to the NLCS for a first time in a very long time. The Cubs curse has been lifted. Let's put it that way. Oh, wow. So congratulations to the Chicago Cubs. I'll have a little bit more on them coming up here shortly. But we'll go ahead and get to the other sports news that we want to get to. I love you, you love me. The Houston Astros and Texas Rangers. Like I said, I was hoping to do a special show for you last night. Texas goes up 2-0 in Toronto, loses 2 at home. They're tied at 2. Cole Hamels pitches tomorrow evening, October 14th, for the Rangers' third chance in 5 years of making it to an ALCS. It's a pretty good pitcher to have. The Houston Astros, likewise, played very well against the Kansas City Royals, 2-1. The Royals tied it on a comeback as the Astros bullpen blows it yesterday, and they lose 9-6. That game goes back to Kansas City. Now, here's where my odds actually get pretty low for both of those visiting teams. You're going to sit here and go, why were your odds so high, when the Rangers were up 2-0, when the Astros were up ahead in the odds of them being able to advance, and then now they're low. I'll tell you why, because both Houston and Texas has to travel. Texas has to travel to Toronto, where the fans are a little livid at something that Harold Reynolds said about the Canadians not being able to catch foul balls. I don't know what his intent of saying that was for, but apparently the Canadians are in an uproar, and Harold Reynolds will not be able to step foot in Toronto or Canada anytime soon because they're all like, off with your head, Harold Reynolds. But Texas travels to Toronto. Houston travels to Kansas City. The odds for both teams have decidedly decreased. I've got both basically 49-51. 59, the home team wins. 49, the road team loses. And 49 that they win, and 50, however you want to look at it. Is your glass half full or is it half empty? But either way, the odds aren't all there. You say, well, it's, only by percent, it's not very big. I've got confidence in both Texas and Houston of them being able to go out of town and clinch for the ALCS as we look for a Texas two-step in the ALCS, which would be awesome. I would definitely have to do a show about that. As you know, there's lots of things that both teams need to do. We'll discuss the top three things that both teams need to do to advance here coming up shortly in the segments. Okay, the Chicago Cubs, no, excuse me, wrong team. The New York Mets are playing the Los Angeles Dodgers on the other side of the NLDS. And how many of y'all saw the slide by Chase Utley? The quote by the New York Mets manager, Terry Collins, and this is his quote, says, "It broke my shortstop's leg. That's all I knew." If you saw the slide, Chase Utley went in hard to second base, broke Tejada's leg. Tejada was injured. He has not been able to play. Utley has been suspended for 2 games, but has appealed. He sat out Game 3. I believe he's available for Game 4 in the utmost. The hearing's not for another week. So, what's your thoughts on this? Personally, I'm gonna go off. This is baseball. They've been sliding into home, into second base, into first. Really sliding into first is a big no-no, but sliding into second, sliding into home, sliding into third. You're taught to take out those fielders, all right? For so many years and years, for decades, we've watched baseball players slide into home, slide into third, slide into second hard, and never have anything broken. Now all of a sudden we want to change the rules because a couple of guys are a little bit of weenies about the fact that they got hurt or the fact that, they got injured. But yet, 10 years ago, they would have done the same thing. That hard play into second, that hard play into third, that hard play into home. They would have done the same thing. But because it's them, no, we need to change the rules. Well, guess what? We've done this for decades. Let's stop whining and changing rules because some players are just a little too sissy to deal with it, all right? How many of y'all seen the movie A League of Their Own? There's a part in the movie that I really love, and it states, and this part has very much to do with what Terry Collins and the New York Mets and all the other players are whining and bull, have got all this bull going on about. Tom Hanks says, "Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball." Well, guess what, guys? There's no crying in baseball. Let's get over it. Let's play the game. You've been doing it for decades. Your guys have done it, but now because it happened to your guy, you want to change the rules. Well, guess what? We've done it for decades. Let's man up. Let's grow a pair and, stop whining and moaning and groaning about everything that hurts our players. They've done it for decades. Let's stop. Let's just stop. Let's play the game the way it was meant to be played, hard, all right? There's some reaction on Twitter. I want to read some of the reactions from some of the major league players on Twitter about the Tejada reaction. This is from Mark Mulder. Mark Mulder said, "Like it or not, Utley plays hard, and I would want him on my team. Jose Molina, dirty play by Utley." All right. Dallas Braden, hard nose, hashtag. Alex Cora, horrible call. Utley never touched the bag. If called safe, Tejada can tag him. Frank J. Viola Jr. said, "Appeal the play at second. Utley will be called out." Shane Victorino always wanted him Always called him one of my toughest teammates. Utley showing why I always called him a winner. Hashtag MLB playoffs. Jose Reyes, that was a really weak attempt at a slide by Utley. Devil faces. Carl Ruddick, MLB has made it clear their priority is protecting players. There will be rule stipulating base runners target base, not fielder. John Franco at Mets fans, let's say a prayer for Ruben Tejada. Hopefully he is okay. We've got all kinds of different reactions, but my reaction is as follows, as I told you. It's mixed 50-50 on what players think. But, the majority of the older players are going to say, hey, this is how it's done. This is how the game is played. This is what we need to do. Many of y'all have heard the news out of the USC organization there. The USC Trojans fired their head coach, Steve, I'm going to probably butcher his last name, Sarkisian. He appeared to be drunk during the game the other day. So by appearing by being drunk, he admitted being drunk. The USC Trojans fired him, which is a good call. It was obvious that would happen. So, a good call by USC. And along those same lines, if you haven't heard, Steve Spurrier is planning on retiring from the South Carolina Gamecocks, effective immediately. There will be a new head coach coming into this week, interim coach, until they can find a new one. Lots of speculation has the defensive coordinator being that head coach. So with that being said, that's some of your football news. Now, let's go to the NFL. The NFL power rankings have come out. So has the AP coaches poll. We're going to go over both of those. I'm going to start off with the NFL power rankings because I think the NFL power rankings are pretty honest. They're pretty legit at what they need to be. The power rankings as follow for week 6 are as follows. And I'm going to stick with this poll because I agree with the NFL's posting right now as for week 6. The Patriots stand atop at number 1, Green Bay number 2, number 3 Falcons, 4 Broncos, Bengals 6, Bengals 5th, Cardinals 6, Panthers 7, Seahawks 8, Steelers 9, Bills 10, 11 Jets, 12 Giants, 13 Colts, 14 Chargers, 15 Eagles, Vikings 16, Rams 17, Cowboys 18, Chiefs 19, Browns 20, 21 Redskins, 22 Raiders, 23 Ravens, 24 Bears, 25 49ers, Saints 26, Titans 27, Buccaneers 28, 29 Dolphins, Texans 30, Lions 31, Jaguars 32. That is rounding out the 32 teams in the NFL from 1 to 32. I agree with the NFL's posting. So, nothing new there as far as NFL power rankings go for week 6. That being said, let's look at week 7's coaches poll and the AP coaches poll. AP coaches polls are as follows. And again, I will go over the AP's coaches poll and I will agree with some, I will disagree with others, and I will rank them in in how I see fit. Number 1, Ohio State. 2, Baylor. 3, TCU. 4, Michigan State. LSU. 5, Clemson. 6, Utah. 7, Florida State. 8, Alabama. 9, Texas A&M. 10, 11, Florida. 12, Ole Miss. 13, Notre Dame. 14, Michigan State. 15, Oklahoma State. 16, Stanford. 17, Iowa. 18, UCLA. 19, Oklahoma. 20, Boise State. 21, Northwestern. 22, Memphis. 23, Cal. 24, Duke. 25, Toledo. These are the top 25 as I rank them. Ohio State remains number 1. Number 2, TCU. Number 3, Baylor. Number 4, LSU. Number 5, Clemson. Number 6, Michigan State. Number 7, Utah. Number 8, Florida State. Texas A&M 9, Alabama 10, Florida 11, 12, Ole Miss 13, Notre Dame 14, Oklahoma State 15, Michigan, Stanford 16, Iowa 17, UCLA 18, Northwestern 19, Boise State 20, Oklahoma 21, 22, Memphis 23, Toledo 24, Cal 25, Duke, as in my top 25, as in see fit, for the AP Coaches Poll. With that being said, I discussed the 3 things that I wanted to tell you that the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers needed to do in order to get to that ALCS. And the 3 things that you need to keep in mind, 3 keys for these teams. Number 1, pitch well. Pitch well from the beginning. Pitch well from the beginning. That means your starter pitches lights out. Matches 0 of the other team's starter. I have confidence in both Cole Hamels and in the Astros starter as well. Number 2, score first. Score first and score often. You look at both Houston and Texas, when both teams have scored first, they have a plus 40 in the win column of games to the losses that they've had, minus 40 in the loss column when they've scored second. Number 3, make sure your bullpens are on par. What that means is make sure that your bullpens are top notch. You know, Texas has the motto, never ever quit. Houston has the motto, hustle town. I like both clubs. I would love, and my dream come true now, that my dreams were shattered when Houston moved to the AL West. My dream back in the day was that Houston and Texas would play in the World Series. That dream was shattered when Houston moved to the AL West. Now my dream is that they play each other in the ALCS. That would be a dream come true to see both teams, but both teams' bullpens have to be on par. If Texas bullpen and Houston's bullpen comes out playing the way they did in games 1 and 2, it's lights out. They've won. If their pitching is the way it was in games 1 and 2, that's it. Lights out. They've won. If their offense plays the way they did in games 1 and 2, then that's it. Lights out. Game's over. Hello, ALCS. Hello, Texas Showdown. And that would be a special show coming to you, you know, no matter what, possibly Thursday night. But I only feel right in saying that, you know, the wager that I've made with my friend in Houston, Troy Bustle, it has nothing to do with money. So therefore, you know, it has nothing to do with gambling. The little wager that we made, little bet that we made, is that whichever team Texas or Houston goes farther in the playoffs, we have to put up that person's team logo for 24 hours as our profile pic. You know what I mean? 24 hours. That's pretty. I can't have Houston's logo on my profile pic for a whole 24. I'm kidding. I like both teams, but that's our wager. I've also made the same wager with a friend of mine, Brian Williams, who likes the Kansas City club. So the bet is whichever team goes farther, Texas or Kansas City, we have to put up that other person's logo. So my hope is that Texas advances to the ALCS and Houston advances to the ALCS. I guess in that case, Brian would have to put up my Texas Ranger logo for a profile pic for a day. But if Kansas City wins and Texas loses, Kansas City goes farther, then I have to put up Kansas City's logo for a day. Those are the two wagers I've made. They're small little bets. They have nothing to do with money. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's a little wager we made to have a little bit of fun with this baseball fun, you know. And, you know, if both Houston and Texas get knocked out tomorrow, then I guess to be honest with you, me or Troy don't have to put up anything because both teams died at the same time. So that would be pretty awesome. Those are the top three things the teams, Houston and Texas, needs to do to pull off a ALDS victory, move on and advance to the ALCS and make it a Texas showdown in the ALCS. I promised you some news at the end of the show, and I'm going to spend a few minutes telling you about that news. I'm in the process of creating a website with a company called Wix.com. Wix is excellent. Many people I've talked to that have used Wix love the fact that even the free domain gives you the opportunity to build your website and build it in a way, excuse me, that you like it. Now, what does that mean for the Facebook page of All About Sports Zone? Nothing. It means nothing. What it does mean, though, is that there will probably be a blog that goes along with it. There will be sports pictures of games that I've been to, the atmosphere, pictures of the players, stuff like that, for your viewing pleasure. There will be a bio of myself. And also, if you're looking for services and maybe a play-by-play for your high school baseball or for your high school football, as long as you have the equipment, I'll be your man. I can be your man Friday nights, Saturdays. You know, I'm there for you no matter what. So it'll give you a way to get in contact with me for those assets, as well as other things that you can get in contact with me for. You know, a lot of movie theaters have the recordings of the movie times. Those are typical nowadays. They're done by the kids in the theater, which makes no sense. It used to be they'd hire out a company or a person with a professional radio voice or somebody that had experience in it to do those instead of letting the 18, 19-year-old kids who have absolutely no experience do it. You know, I see this more and more every place I go, you know, letting, you know, kids run the mill, so to speak. You know, I don't mind kids helping, kids learning the ropes. I have no problem with that. You know, if a kid wanted to know, hey, you know, how do you do your show? Can I sit in and watch you do your show? I love that, you know, for you to show me how you do it, the preparation that's going into it, the work going into it. You know, I would not have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with, and this goes to websites to everything else is we let kids do stuff for us. We stop nowadays, I guess it's because of my older generation. We think kids can do everything. Well, the truth of the matter is, a lot of times these kids can do a lot, but when they make these websites, they look very unprofessional. That's why I'm going to Wix, and from Wix, I am using my wife, who is a computer programmer, a computer developer, a website developer, somebody that can go in and help me out. I may have my sister-in-law go in and do some graphic design with the page as well. So, I've got people that have degrees in this that will make this page professional. And that's what I want. I want something professional, something that you will be able to go to and not only find sports news throughout the week, but also for services, whether it be play by play at a high school baseball game, a high school basketball game, or a high school football game, you know, we do that for you. Or, high school graduation, whatever you need, the services are there for you. I'm not somebody who has Googled how to be a professional vlogger or how to be a professional radio person. That's not me. I don't Google stuff. Okay. I've got the experience with it. I am ready to let my light shine in those aspects. And I'm not going to let people who like to Google stuff or think that they can Google how to do stuff run the mill. With that being said, don't expect this website to be online tonight, tomorrow, the next day. It will take time. I'm going to go into this with a level head. I'm going to brainstorm with my wife, who is a computer programmer, a computer developer, a website developer, and going to brainstorm with my sister-in-law, whose graphic design experience is above and beyond. And we're going to go from there. We're going to make this page the best free professional Wix page. It's going to win so many awards, it's going to scare the pants off of you. But yes, that's the big news. We're going to get a website. The Facebook page is going to stay up. Don't get me wrong. You're going to say, "Oh, great, we're going to have a website now." We'll have to change the header on the All About Sports Zone page because that Blogspot page will probably go by the wayside. I love Blogspot, but Gmail apparently locked me out when they said something of content was illegal. I don't know what was. I post all my videos up there. I don't know what was illegal. I've contacted Blogspot and they've yet to answer me because, all they're about is, whining about stuff. So, with that being said, we're going to go to Wix. We're going to create a website. It won't be online tonight. It won't be online tomorrow. I'm brainstorming with two of the best people that I know, my wife and sister-in-law, to get this website up and going, the best website. Again, it won't be done by somebody who's Googled it. It won't be done by somebody half-heartedly. It will be done by somebody who knows what they're doing. Just like this show is done by somebody who knows what they're doing. Okay, that's that. I'm off the rant. Look for the new website coming soon. I won't tell you when. I'll tell you when it gets closer. It won't be tonight. It won't be tomorrow. It may not even be next week, but I will brainstorm, like I said, with the two best people that I know, my wife and sister-in-law. We'll get the page up. We'll make it professional, and we will knock your socks off. Until next week, remember there are 3 easy ways you can get a hold of me. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AllAboutSportsZone. You can email us at AllAboutSportsZone, that's one word, at gmail.com. or you can like us at Twitter. Until next week, I'm your host, Jimmy the K. Hope you're looking forward to the new website, professionally done by professional people, just like this professional #1 sports show. Until next week, I'm Jimmy the K. Peace out.